My dear brothers and sisters, pause for a moment and imagine a world where a single act of love can shatter the chains of despair. Have you ever felt unseen, longing for a touch of hope to lift your spirit? Today, let us walk together through a story of miracles, where a man's compassion transformed lives, calmed raging storms, and brought light to the darkest hearts. Let us journey with Jesus, whose love knows no bounds, and whose mercy invites us all to trust in the heart of God. As Jesus descended the mountainside, a vast multitude trailed behind him, their eyes filled with yearning, their souls seeking solace. Among them, a leper, cast out by society, stepped forward with trembling courage. His body bore the scars of disease, but his heart carried a spark of faith. Kneeling before Jesus, he whispered, "Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean." The crowd held its breath, for who would dare touch the untouchable? Yet Jesus, his gaze tender and unwavering, extended his hand and touched the man's scarred skin. "I am willing," he said, his voice a balm to the soul. "Be clean." In that sacred moment, the leprosy vanished, and the man's face shone with new life. His shame melted into joy, his isolation replaced by belonging. Jesus, with gentle authority, instructed, "Tell no one, but go, show yourself to the priest, and offer the gift commanded by Moses as a testimony to God's mercy." The man departed, his heart a living hymn, proclaiming to all the healing power of divine love. The path led Jesus to Capernaum, where the clamor of the crowd parted for a Roman centurion, a man of power humbled by love. His uniform spoke of authority, but his eyes revealed a servant's heart. "Lord," he pleaded, "my young servant lies at home, paralyzed, tormented by unbearable pain." His voice broke, not with the command of a soldier, but with the anguish of one who cared deeply. Jesus, moved by such sincerity, replied, "I will come and heal him." But the centurion, with a faith that pierced the heavens, said, "Lord, I am not worthy to have you under my roof. Only speak the word, and my servant will be healed. For I, too, am a man under authority with soldiers who obey my commands. I say to one, 'Go,' and he goes, to another, 'Come,' and he comes." Jesus stood still, his heart stirred by this Gentile's trust. Turning to the crowd, he proclaimed, "Truly, I tell you, I have not found such faith in all of Israel. Many will come from the east and west to feast with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven, while those who turn from this grace will find only darkness, where there is weeping and gnashing of teeth." To the centurion he said, "Go home. As you have believed, so it is done." At that very hour, miles away, the servant rose, his body restored, his pain erased. The centurion's faith became a beacon, showing that God's love embraces all who dare to trust. In the warmth of Peter's home, Jesus found another soul in need. Peter's mother-in-law lay in bed, her body consumed by a raging fever, her strength slipping away. The room was heavy with worry, but Jesus stepped forward, his presence a quiet promise of hope. He took her frail hand in his, and with a touch as gentle as a breeze, the fever fled. Her eyes opened, radiant with life, and she rose, her heart overflowing with gratitude. She prepared a meal for them, her hands now instruments of love, serving those who had witnessed God's mercy. That night, as the sun dipped below the horizon, the people of Capernaum brought their afflicted to Jesus, those tormented by evil spirits, those broken by disease. With a single word, he cast out the spirits. With a tender touch, he healed the sick. The air was filled with cries of joy as the words of the prophet Isaiah came alive. He took our infirmities and bore our diseases. Each healed soul became a light, a testament to the God who sees every hidden pain. As the crowd swelled, Jesus called his disciples to cross the Sea of Galilee, seeking a moment of solitude. A teacher of the law approached, his voice bold with zeal. "Teacher, I will follow you wherever you go." Jesus, with eyes that saw the heart, replied, "Foxes have holes and birds have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head." Another disciple, torn by duty, said, "Lord, let me first go and bury my father." Jesus, with gentle urgency, answered, "Follow me, and let the spiritually dead bury their own." As they boarded the boat, the sky darkened, and a fierce storm roared across the lake. Waves crashed over the sides, and the disciples, gripped by fear, cried out, "Lord, save us! We are perishing." Jesus, roused from sleep, looked upon them with love. "Why are you afraid, you of little faith?" He rose, his voice steady, and rebuked the wind and waves. In an instant, a profound calm settled over the waters. The disciples, their hearts pounding, whispered in awe, "Who is this man, that even the winds and the sea obey him?" On the far shore, in the desolate region of the Gadarenes, two men, possessed by demons, burst from the tombs, their cries echoing through the cliffs. The townsfolk feared them, for their violence barred all passage. "What have you to do with us, Son of God?" they shrieked, trembling before his presence. "Have you come to torment us before the appointed time?" Nearby, a herd of pigs grazed, and the demons begged, "If you cast us out, send us into the swine." Jesus, with authority unshaken, spoke a single word, "Go!" The demons fled, entering the pigs, and the entire herd rushed down the steep bank, plunging into the lake's depths. The herdsmen, wide-eyed, fled to the town, spreading word of the miracle. Soon, the townspeople arrived, their hearts torn between fear and wonder. Instead of rejoicing, they pleaded with Jesus to leave, their eyes fixed on their loss. Jesus, his heart heavy yet resolute, stepped into the boat, returning across the waters, his mission to bring light undimmed by rejection. Back in his own city, Jesus was met by a group carrying a paralytic on a mat, their faith a silent prayer. Seeing their trust, Jesus looked into the man's eyes and said, "Take heart, son. Your sins are forgiven." Murmurs rippled through the crowd as scribes whispered, "This is blasphemy. Who can forgive sins but God?" Jesus, knowing their thoughts, challenged them, "Why do you harbor evil in your hearts? Which is easier to say, 'Your sins are forgiven,' or 'Rise and walk'? But so you may know that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins." He turned to the paralytic, his voice firm yet kind. "Rise, take your mat, and go home." The man sprang to his feet, his body restored, his soul set free. The crowd, struck with awe, glorified God, proclaiming, "We have never seen anything like this." The paralytic's steps echoed as a testimony to the power of faith and forgiveness. As Jesus continued, a synagogue leader fell at his feet, his voice choked with grief. "My daughter has died, but come, lay your hand on her, and she will live." Jesus followed, his disciples close behind. Along the way, a woman, afflicted by a hemorrhage for 12 years, pressed through the crowd. Her heart whispered, "If I only touch his cloak, I will be healed." With trembling fingers, she touched the fringe of his garment. Instantly, her bleeding ceased. Jesus stopped, turning to her with eyes of compassion. "Take heart, daughter. Your faith has made you well." She wept, not from pain, but from the joy of being seen. At the leader's house, mourners scoffed when Jesus said, "The girl is not dead, but sleeping." Yet he entered, took her hand, and called her back to life. Her eyes fluttered open, and she rose, her laughter filling the room. The news spread like wildfire. 2 blind men followed, crying, "Son of David, have mercy on us." Jesus asked, "Do you believe I can do this?" "Yes, Lord," they answered. He touched their eyes, saying, "According to your faith, let it be done." Their sight was restored, and though he urged silence, their voices carried his fame across the land. Jesus journeyed through villages, teaching in synagogues, healing every affliction, and proclaiming the good news of the kingdom. Seeing the crowds, weary and lost like sheep without a shepherd, his heart ached with compassion. He said to his disciples, "The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Pray to the Lord of the harvest to send out workers into his field." In a synagogue, a man with a withered hand stood before him. The Pharisees, seeking to trap him, asked, "Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath?" Jesus replied, "If your sheep fell into a pit on the Sabbath, would you not save it? How much more valuable is a person than a sheep? It is lawful to do good on the Sabbath." To the man, he said, "Stretch out your hand." The hand was restored, whole and strong. The Pharisees plotted against him, but Jesus, undeterred, healed all who came, fulfilling the words of Isaiah, "Behold, my servant whom I have chosen, my beloved, in whom my soul delights. He will proclaim justice to the nations, and in his name the Gentiles will hope." My dear friends, these miracles are not distant memories, but living invitations to trust in the one who still heals, still restores, still loves without limit. Have you felt his touch in your life? Have you witnessed his mercy in the kindness of another? Share your story in the comments below that we may uplift one another. Like this video to spread this message of hope, share it with those who need light in their darkness, and subscribe to continue this journey together. Let us carry his love into the world, one heart at a time.